Now, Nigeria is a nation with a rich cultural heritage and diverse resources, but of course faces significant challenges in managing its livestock sector. As part of the effort to or for them to meet up these challenges, a bill is to ban the open grazing is now before the Senate. The bill who has passed, or the bill which has passed the second reading after heating debate. The bill proposes the establishment of ranches in pastoralist states for origin without state of origin without forcing it in other states. That's the first one. These are the things that, of course, the Senator Zam, I beg your pardon, actually proposed. The second one is saying the bill requires interested parties in livestock business to seek and obtain approvals of their host communities to establish ranches. The third one is talking about proponents of the bill argued that an outright ban on open grazing will stop clashes between the herders and the farmers. The fourth is talking about the opponents of the bill. These are the people, especially senators from the northern part of the country, where, of course, the pastoralists come from. They argue that laws should not be made for a particular set of people, and that there are other reasons for the clashes between farmers and herders that have not been addressed. Basically, these are the things that were discussed in the National Assembly by the legislators talking about this particular bill, and it has passed its second reading. And it's in the process right now. The Senate have pushed it to a committee there to and given them a month to go through, dissect this thing, and come back with the final suggestions and possible solutions to this matter. Now, this has generated reactions from every part of Nigeria. So, of course, Trust TV is giving you that space where it's safe for you to call in and share your take on this particular issues that is trending at the moment. So, do you think that the federal government should go on with this with this bill? I beg your pardon, already talking about the ranching. Should they continue to pass this bill? What is your take on this conversation? The numbers are displayed on your TV screen. Go ahead, call us. Let's hear your take on this matter. At the end of the day, we just have to take a look and dissect of all of these things, because we all saw the videos on social medias and even news on what exactly happened and trespassed between these legislators. The first thing to take a look at is talking about the bill proposes the establishment of ranches in pastoralist states. Now, this is saying that other people, you cannot go wherever you're residing, which we know pastoralists are nomadic in nature. They move from one place to another. It's just like a situation of looking for greener pastures, right? So people tend to leave rural areas to come out of that place and seek greener things. And we all know that sometimes the northern part of Nigeria has one dry season, one rainy season, I beg your pardon. So within that period, these pastoralists carry their cows around, and after that period, there is no grass to feed, so they move from one place to another, and they tend to settle in one place after a while. I mean, our reporter Dalibi in I think Osun State, Abbas Ibrahim Dalibi made a report on that, and he spoke with herders in Osun State, where on those states, I beg your pardon, where they spoke about their concern about this particular thing, saying that if at all they have to move back to where they are located, where the state of origin is, then there's going to be a problem. We have our first caller this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Zahraddin Ibrahim from Taraba State.
Oh, Zahraddin, it's good to have you. Go ahead with your take.
Really, this bill that the federal government are trying to pass is a very, very, very good and interesting bill.
Okay.
Because looking at it, this thing is generating conflict, crisis here and there in the country, everywhere in the country. Right from Plateau State, to here my state in Taraba, to Benue, to Nasarawa, and the whole Nigeria itself, all part of Nigeria. But we have the belief that passing this bill, if the federal government will implement it and we put more attention on it, not that we only pass the bill and neglect it. If they put their attention, this is a very good bill that will bring peace to our people in Nigeria.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
So my take here is that federal government should pass this bill and put more attention on it, not to cheat the Fulani and the farmers.
Yeah. Indeed,
so
I mean,
that's my own take.
It's a very good take. Thank you so much, Zaradin, for that take on this matter. I mean, one thing that caught my attention in what you said is not only passing the bill, but also putting effort and making sure that things are done right. That we all know the situations of how sometimes decisions are being made without putting things in place, and the same thing keeps happening, because when we make some laws that does not really resonate with us, does not resonate with our culture, something we're used to, then definitely there's going to be some kind of issue that bill might not really work the way the leaders really want it to work, or how it should benefit Nigeria. So yeah, definitely this is one of the things that I was talking about, the proposal. Based on the proposal, it's saying that they want if at all, we all know herders are from the northern part of Nigeria, so they're saying any state that the herder should decide to build his ranch, then it has to be from the northern part. And earlier I mentioned that our reporter in Ondo State was talking about people living there, complaining that Ondo is their state. It's where they've lived for the longest time. It's home for them. All right, we have another caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, your name and location.
Yeah. My name is Ahmed Karai. I'm calling from Medjugorje.
Ahmed Karai, good to have you from Borno. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to contribute on this a very important topic.
Of course.
Yes. My take on this is the open day should not be banned, but rather it is the people that the people that make it to other people to help them. I think what is government to formalize these open grazing, especially on the plan. What worries them is illiteracy. You know, we have our farm, but you people plan come and eat all our planning. So you are not be pleased with them. So if they are given a formal education, they will not be doing something that people will be helping them. So I think government should impose a formal education on planning to be wise, to know the right and the right of other people. That is what is causing the problem. That is my take. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ahmed, for that take. I mean, farmers are, of course, getting agitated with the topic because the open grazing tend to affect farmers the most when when the herders take their cows around and then they go into a farm and eat the farm plants and produce of farmers. So, of course, this is something that has caused chaos in Nigeria. I think we have another caller.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about other things, the bill requires interested parties in the livestock business to seek and obtain approvals of their host communities to establish the ranch. Now, that is another take. After you have been said that you have to go to your state, then if at all the community that you plan on building your ranch, you have to go and meet them and get an approval for them to agree that it's okay for you to build that, because at the end of the day, every business owner knows that you have to have a good relationship with the host community of your business in order for it to work. But because of the histories of herders and farmers or others, there might be a bit of conflict and fear of allowing them to build their ranch in a particular community. which might be the things that this bill was looking at, saying that, okay, why not go to your own state and maybe your own local government or even your own village? That might help. But we all know how these things work. While we're looking at it, we have to look at both sides. The other part is saying we are not really staying in the north right now. How can we go back and rebuild our life from the scratch? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name and location.
My name is Tinubu. I'm calling from Benue State.
It's good to have you from Benue, a state that has been facing the farmers and herders clash. What's your take on this?
Well, ranching is the best way of rearing animals. Ranching is the best. And it will solve problem that is happening here and there. Come in Benue, some communities are not living in their own for past 3 to 4 years now. Nobody is in the community because of this kind of a problem. So if they want to do ranching, what I would suggest is that state government will have hand in it. Let them bring a specific land that will be given to these people. Then let them ranch it. If they need grass, they will go and cut. In a place where we are living in Otupo here, you can't allow your animal to roll about. If you want to have farming of goat and all these things, you keep it in a place, go and cut grass and then give to your goat. And that is how people have been doing their own farming here. So if government gives them land to do it, if they need to feed their cow, they will go and cut grass and give. If it is water, you call tanker will bring water for you to give to feed your cow. And I think ranching is the best. It will solve all this problem that is happening in the country. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling us from Otupo. Of course, Benue has faced a lot of this situation, which is farmers and herders clash, which has caused the loss of lives, many lives, which could have been averted, which was unnecessary. But of course, this is one of the reasons that a senator from Benue State decided to bring this bill forward. So next, there's a proponent of the bill that argued that outright ban of the open grazing will stop the clash between the farmers and herders, which is basically the push for this bill, the farmers and herders clash situation. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is James. Calling from Benue.
You're calling from Benue?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead with your take.
I want to ask this question, this ranching.
Okay.
It's too much for Fulani. This Fulani matter is too, I will play. So we person go for a house, we build a negative.
I'm sorry, you're not really audible enough. I'm trying to get your question.
I think the question is this: is it by force? The president has a big problem. Plus, I take over the whole Nigeria now. Is it the whole road in Nigeria? Or what? I think it's the other country to go to the Islamic land. Try to get the place to live. Then I think we are playing, saying that place go to the president's land. It be your own land, go to Nigeria. Then we will eat the food, go to Fulani. Then you carry the go to market, Fulani come by shop. You could make yam, Fulani come and destroy it. You make cassava, Fulani go destroy it. You are not Fulani go destroy it. Everything Fulani destroy it. We talk is in a problem, they'll kill the parent Jonah. Now Fulani go to Nigeria, which I've been a play for Nigeria, we need law. So this is a story for Fulani. When I know how to talk about Fulani matter. Fulani matter now is in Nigeria. I food not for this country. We were talking about farming. Farming were farming. Then the Fulani allowed to do farming again. Then they can't be food. So Fulani is not in Nigeria.
Fulani, apologies. I want to hear you. Did you say Fulani? Are you still with us?
Yeah,
okay. Did you say Fulani are non-Nigerians?
Yeah. So when I check, they get indigenous. Yeah, but I know they go to the place.
Fulani have history in Nigeria. Okay, so basically the discussion here, right? Because if we're going back to history, Fulani have history in Nigeria. It's a known fact. It's not something that is even arguable. But talking about the ranching, do you think the proposal of the bill of the ranching would favor these situations, of course?
It's not good to run matter at all. It can't really food. We're eating food. We're eating to benefit you. Eating to benefit person.
All right. Thank you so much for that call. If there is one thing that I could just sense from his voice was the frustration of the situation, which is something that, of course, the leaders are pushing for to find a better solution for all of this. Now, let's take a look at the opposition. These are the people representing the northern part of Nigeria. I know people came for the Senate, the legislators defending these people. But one thing I would tell you is that everybody voted a representative to be in the legislation because they need someone to defend them in case of certain situations. And if at all, I remember during the Yaradua case when there was the Niger Delta issue, we also had people representing that axis. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Okay, my name is Stanley.
Stanley, where are you calling us from?
Hello? Calling from Kaduna.
Okay, it's good to have you from Kaduna. Let's hear your take on the bill of the open grazing ban.
So I'm saying that ranching is the best solution to this Nigerian problem. You see, when you have a business, no matter the community, to do that very business. Nigeria, according to Nigeria Constitution, you are free to live anywhere in Nigeria and do your business anywhere in Nigeria. Then when you want to do that your business any part of that very Nigeria, you are still owners of that very community. You go to any of them and say, I want to do this very business, whether the market or whether they have shops, then you can go and hire the shop. If it is something like farming, you go to community and say, this is what I want to farm. Then they can give you land for you to do that very business. You go and do that. Then while you are doing that, you don't encroach to the community's custody, or what do you call it? Customs. You know their doors and done. If you know those their done, don't just cross over. Then you can live in peace with them. But when you come to do anything anyhow you like it, you know it will bring problems. Like this very open grazing. When I don't believe it is only Fulanis that are rearing animals in Nigeria. Other tribes are doing. But when you are doing that, and you see you have encroached on other people's farmland or something like destroy their property, it is then based on you to go and tell them sorry. If there's any competition, you pay them back so that they are with you. But in a case where somebody says, no, you have destroyed my property, and that person who has destroyed his property can never be happy with you, of course, then on the basis of that, you went and still and kill that very person again. Yes, there will be a problem. And so to solve that very problem is so that let there be a ranch. Let them go to the community wherever they want to go. Let them have a space and make that very ranch. And go to the bush and cut grasses or whatever. Or even buy the food. That this very ranching of a people will create another job opportunity. People will be cutting the cows feed and bring to them for them to buy. It's because another job opportunity for some people. They will buy it and feed the cows in one place. Then the farmers will farm their own land. And how even the farmers and the ranchers, all of them will live in harmony. There will be no problem. I don't support people say everybody or the rurals should go back to their feet. It doesn't work. This is Nigeria. We have to live together. But while living together, respect every community's law. That is what I'm saying.
Thank you so much for that detailed situation, and the fact that, of course, you pointed out what the Constitution says about businesses, saying there's a freedom of movement of a person and their businesses, and this is also a protocol of ECOWAS that's the West African regional bloc, also making sure that it's saying you can move your business anywhere. So that is some of the concerns that some Nigerians and some northern senators were pointing out on this bill consideration, saying that the whole moving yourself from one state to back to your state is something that would distort people's lives. Most people are already camped in a particular city or state, and making them to move from that place would cause issues. Now, also from the other part, you have to consider why they feel there should be movement back. It's because they feel like there is already a bad blood between the Heathers and these particular people. I know even in the southwest part of the country, there has been an issue of farmers and Heathers clash, which is something that, of course, needs to be averted. Some people have pointed out examples of countries that are that also do the nomadic pastoral lifestyle, but all of these countries have moved forward. And open grazing used to be what nomadists used to. Open grazing is something that it's cultural for us. Open grazing is something that we grew up watching in Nigeria happened. But it seemed it took us a bit longer to transition. And of course, this is coming with a massive, attack of saying we don't want change, which is expected. I mean, people are always skeptical and fearful of change. But if we look at all of this, there is a chance that this could work as long as everything is put in place. Some of these suggestions, the reason for this bill to even be passed is a great thing. It's to avert the unnecessary killings of Nigerians, but there's steps that need to be taken that are not pointed out here. So give us a reason why you think this should work. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Afemi. I am calling from Benue State.
Okay, people from Benue, go ahead.
I greet you people in the studio.
Appreciate you.
You see, it is too pathetic. I doff my cap for the sponsors of this bill. You see, for instance, Igbos are known for their business expertise. If any Igbo man goes to Lagos to do his business, he will rent a house, he will rent his shop and start paying and become lawful to the customs and the traditions of that particular place he found himself. So this ranching of a thing, I am of the opinion that ranching is the best way to curb the incessant killings going on in Nigeria today. Let me tell you, you do your farm, you farm, animal from nowhere will come to destroy, to eat. And when the owners of such farms complain to the owners of the cow, they'll be attacked, and eventually many of them lose their lives. Is it most appropriate? It has contributed to the food scarcity we are experiencing in Nigeria, the famine we are experiencing in Nigeria today. When farmers cannot go freely into their farms to farm, everybody is afraid to move into the farm, to farm, to do their farm work there because of any possible attack that might come from there. So for me, I am of the opinion that this bill, if the senators, if the House of Representatives, they meant well for Nigeria, this bill should be passed. Anybody who wants to train or wants to rear animal should get himself involved in ranching. And when these animals are kept in a particular place, it's only in Nigeria, it's only in Africa that you can entertain this. When you are moving on the streets of Abuja, you are being stopped by either goats or by cows or any other animal. Have you ever traveled to overseas countries in Europe, in America, in Asia? You see these type of things being entertained. No, it is here. Why? Because we don't value lives. I am of the opinion the proponents of this bill for ranching, they should be given kudos, and they should not waste time to pass it into law, because if it is passed into law at least we have won 50% of the insecurity we are experiencing in Nigeria today. That is my stake. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much for, of course, your take, which is quite, eye-opening on the fact that you brought out examples of Western countries. Yes, truly, I don't think there are countries that still practice this open grazing. Even in Africa, countries like Eritrea, countries like Ethiopia, and even I think Egypt, they also practice the ranching thing. And of course, one of the push is that we don't want to lose more food. We don't want to lose a priority, right? We don't want to lose humans. We don't want to lose foods production. We don't want to lose even livestock production. These are everything that are important. And we also have seen how these clashes have caused. The clashes have caused the loss of lives. It has caused the loss of the animals. It has caused the loss of even the food production in the farm. So let's take this call. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead. What's your name and location?
Okay, my name is Prince. I'm calling from Warri.
Okay, from Delta State. What's your take on the bill?
Delta State. I think the bill is one of the best things that will happen to this nation if it is passed. And I also want to agree with the last caller. If people are doing business, wherever you go to, you want to do business, you should be able to acquire a space or property for your business and abide by the laws and rules and regulations of that place. The idea of just going to any place you like to do whatever you want unquestioned, and even when maybe the owners of the land confront you for trespassing or whatever, you attack them, I think is a cake, is not good for this nation. I think one person said, Fulani people are not Nigerians. I don't support that one. They are Nigerians, but they should also be law-abiding. Like I always tell some few friends around here, we shouldn't, or we don't have any issues with them, or anybody will have any issue with any law-abiding Nigerian that want to live in any part of Nigeria or own any property in Nigeria or do his or her business in any part of Nigeria. But you don't have to be nefarious. You don't have to be constituting nuisance. You have to do your business in a way that even though you have the right to do your business, you are not also trampling on the right of others. I think that is what I have to say concerning this open grazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. At the end of the day, you cannot trample on others' rights if just to defend your own rights. Great message there. But then one of the concerns is something that I will also want to hear our callers to dissect. If at all, we know that at the end result of this is something that's going to be fruitful for the country as a whole. What about the process that should be put in place in order to attain this ranching? Because you cannot just abruptly stop people from doing something without giving an alternative. Typical example of what happened with the removal of fuel subsidy. There was no refinery put in place before the bill is passed. So I want to hear your take on that. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Aidi Abdullah. I'm calling from Kefi in Nasarawa State.
Okay, Aidi. It's good to have you from Kefi. Go ahead.
Thank you. First and foremost, you see, of course, policies are always good. It enhances everything about citizens and the country. I really don't understand why in a policy like this that is good in nature, people will look at it from sentimental point of view, targeting a particular group of people. You see, there is absolutely nothing wrong with ranching. But you see, this grazing thing herders do is their own culture, is their way of life. And there is nothing wrong to have ranches all over the country. But the point is, a situation whereby, some people harbors a certain sentiments to say this policy is being targeted, at some group of people. I think these are some of the things that we need to be very careful about. The Fulani people, of course, when let's look at it from this point of view. You see, every policy that is going to be evolved by government, of course, it should evolve from the grassroots. And we have to look at the way of life of our people. How is it going to help people? You see, when you want to invest in ranching, you need a lot of things to bring, to the table, to get a lot of money to do the investment. This is a new thing in our environment here. Before we do that, we need to put a lot of things into perspective. But if we look at it from the point of targeting people that this thing the open grazing thing that they have been doing over the years is part of their life, is part of their culture, it is what is causing issues in the country. And we are not willing to look at those issues that, that is aggravating the insecurity situation as a result of selling off the grazing routes and so on and so forth. We are not helping our situation. So personally,
so you think the senators are just emotional?
No. I'm not talking about the National Assembly in particular. You see, one of the callers, you were there. Yeah. He described Fulanis as non-Nigerians. You can imagine this kind of thing. These are the things that we need to always think before we say anything. You don't have, grudges like this, against a whole people, a whole nation, by, trying to say they are non-Nigerians.
Yeah,
everybody have his own roots.
Of course, I think you just got a bit emotional.
They originate from the Jewish community in Israel and so on. So, you see, for us as citizens, let us be very careful in whatever we say. Let us support government to do what is right, but we shouldn't play politics with this open grazing and ranching issue in the country. That is just the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, okay. Valid point. Thank you so much for calling us from Kefi to share your take on this matter. Pointing out, of course, this, I'm pretty sure he's represented Fulani people saying, why would you say we're not from Nigeria? And while I understand that the other caller that made that point, I could put it or blame it on the fact that there was no clear knowledge of Nigeria's history or people that belong here, and also with the frustration of what is happening between the herders and the farmers. But yes, Fulani are of course part of the country. Another angle that I want you to be aware of is also people are saying that Fulani people are basically left out of every basic amenities. Now I know even an average Nigerian cannot boast of having basic amenities, but then for a Fulani man in the village, these are the people that literally do the open grazing. We all know that majority of Nigerian Fulanis are even in the cities now. They have other jobs. So the headsman stays in the village and they don't have any basic amenities. So if at all the federal government is now going to take open grazing from them without giving them something in return, it's actually taking more from this tribe. So I want to hear your take also on that one. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Hugo. I'm calling from Enugu.
It's good to have you from Enugu. What's your take on the open grazing ban?
It's a welcome thing, the open grazing, because it's not something that we should encourage. I believe it's a thing that should be put in the past. Then the ranching thing, it depends on how they want to carry out the ranching. Because we must carry out things as...
Do we still have the caller?
Hello?
Yes, of course.
Hello?
Go ahead.
We must do things the way it, applies to our society and respect the culture of every segment of the society. Now, ranching, I believe, I don't know the specifics on how the assembly is going on about it, but they must have in mind that it must be done with respect to every sector of society or every other tribes in the society. And when you want to do this ranching, shouldn't be some say that government want to build, this want to build, that want to build. It's a private business. It's a private business. So they have the people that are into the business will have to get the ranching place built according to the rules and regulations given in that.
Do we still have you? All right, I think we lost that call. Talking about saying he agrees with the bill, but there have to be steps put in place for this ranching. If we're looking at making examples of countries like the USA, which example of states like Texas is really known for ranching. It has become some kind of a family generational thing. So these people are now wealthy. They have a huge farmland where they have their cattle and sheep and all of that. But then in Nigeria, do not forget, it has been a historical situation of open grazing. So an abrupt change, of course, is what the northern legislators are skeptical about. But other legislatures are saying it's that time. But truly, at the end of the day, 2024 is a year that at this point we should have said we have stopped, open grazing for the longest time. But anyways, we'll take a break. I appreciate all of you that called in today to share your take on that. Do not forget, tomorrow, of course, we'll open the phone line on other matters, but still on the ban of open grazing bill that is still ongoing in the National Assembly. We'll take a break, and when we come